Welcome back to Summervator Pitch.
Elevator pitch. Summertime is here. We are back. Will Peters is in his swimmies right now.
Yep. I like them long, down to my ankles.
But this is the only podcast in the world pitching fake movies to real seasons. No, we are pitching fake summer movies today on the pod. We're going to get into what exactly makes a movie a summer movie. Yeah. We're going to talk about some summer movies that we've been ripping on the DVD player since we were little film podcasters.
Yeah.
And we are going to pitch some fucking new ones, man.
We're going to pitch some fastballs out on the baseball field. It's summer, baby.
Wow.
Elevator pitch.
Cool music drop. I'll let you decide what is there.
Sure.
And then back to Matt.
That was awesome.
We're back.
I've never seen that before.
All right, anyway, summer movies.
Yeah.
Will, it is June 4th right now. Summer has begun.
Yeah, it's underway.
It's Joachim Trier summer.
Yeah.
How are you celebrating Joachim Trier summer so far?
Well, I've watched The Worst Person in the World 17 times today. I've watched Tanner all day. That's my worst person.
Do you think Director's Fits is like kicking themselves that Elle Fanning thought of the Joachim Trier summer shirt before they did?
They gotta be ticked. I mean, it was right there. Old Charlie, she it was a layup.
Yeah.
She said, "Here, somebody take it."
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, it was at the Charlie XCX.
it was at Coachella.
And she also did she also declare Celine's song summer? Or?
She declared it Ari Aster summer.
Okay.
Celine, so she hit the
She went through all the A24s.
yeah. She hit the catalog. She hit the can lineup basically.
Is the
Minus
idea
song.
of calling something a something summer, is that from the Chet Hanks thing where he called it a white boy summer? Or was it before
I don't
that?
know. That's actually a really good question. What's the first something summer?
Blank summer?
Brat summer.
Obviously,
Yeah.
But I
and then
think
there was
that was-
White Boy Summer.
No, I think white boy summer came before
It
Brat
did.
summer.
It did. Absolutely
Oh,
did.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my god. My white boy summer was very good.
Your White Boy Summer was very good.
Yeah.
My white boy summer was surprisingly multicultural.
Oh, wow.
That's
Way to you make it an ally summer, Tanner. I've seen on Twitter also age gap summer. So take that how you want to take
that's going
it.
around right now.
It's going around the University of North Carolina football practices.
Sure.
But no, I've seen it like around like age gap summer, and it's just like
Wow.
a little bit of a going Aaron Taylor Johnson mode on a
Cool.
relationship.
Yeah, hitting the beach with a broad 25 years older than you, just
Or 25 years younger, you know?
bingo.
Or 10
I mean,
years
not
old.
for us.
It's just normal stuff.
Anyway, it is Joachim Trier summer, though, and it's also Elevator Pitch summer.
It's also elevator pitch summer officially underway.
Officially underway.
If you didn't know.
The 72 people who watch our episodes on YouTube will tell you that, too.
It's elevator pitch video summer.
Yeah.
We're on video. You can see us sit here with a cone of Big Wave and a
I got a Twisted Tea because it's a summer episode.
a bag of Chesapeake Bay Snacklins.
Yeah.
Snacklins.
Dude, do the podcast. What the fuck
Yeah,
are
what
you
the
guys
fuck, man?
doing?
Sorry.
Should we get into some summer movies, though?
Yeah,
Or
let's
before that, what is a summer movie to you, Will Peters?
It's a great question. So to me, as we are in that time, to me, nothing like epitomizes a summer movie more than my favorite movie of all time, which is Dazed and Confused.
Okay.
Now, Dazed and Confused is many things besides being just a slam dunk perfect movie.
We watched it at your bachelor party 2
did.
weeks ago.
We did.
Yeah.
We kicked off summer. We kicked off.
We did kick off summer with it. You're
We
right.
did. It was
Yeah.
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
We kicked off my
Balls?
final days. We took turns kicking off my balls. My final days as a bachelor.
That's not true. You're still a bachelor right now, technically.
I guess we're counting down. The countdown began.
Yeah.
But Dazed and Confused is a perfect symmetry of all these things, which is, I think, with the summer movie, summer movies
Have to take place in summer.
have to take place in summer. That's kind of a layup. You got to have that.
That's why I interrupted you with it.
Yeah, that's a gimme.
No Frosty the Snowman. No Jack Christmas.
People
Yeah.
are always saying,
No the Santa Claus.
No, the Santa
No
Claus.
the Grinch.
yeah.
The Grinch.
No.
You're just naming Christmas.
You're just naming only Christmas.
Yeah.
Well,
None of that would work here.
Yes.
That's a great point.
People are always asking, is Anatomy of a Fall a summer movie?
Yes.
Not really.
Not really.
No,
Not really.
No, not certainly not most of the movie.
If anything,
Yeah.
it's a fall movie. What's happening, guys? My name's Tanner Roberts. Welcome to the podcast.
Anyway,
the
what is it?
worst.
What is a summer movie to you, though?
But you're right. It's a movie that takes place during summer. It doesn't necessarily have to be a coming of age film. I think that's where I find it at its most enjoyable. Maybe I think that is this the sweetest cocktail of summer movie is this journey from the beginning of summer to the end of summer, watching young people discover their freedom, discover who they are.
Yeah.
Because you can't do that during the school year. They won't let you. But in the summer, they're not there.
Yeah, we are there to there.
No, you're not there.
You're they?
I'm Mr. Lister.
All right.
Who's that?
He was my dean from middle school. And
Oh, of course.
Yucky.
Everyone now turn to page 7 of your elevator pitch character index.
You'll find Mr. Lister. But so you want to take place in summer. You want to typically. I think that this is like summer is ripe for younger characters.
Yeah.
I think that this is predominantly owned by teens, 20-somethings. Even we can go all the way back to youth with Parent Trap, with the Parent Trap.
Yeah, I think that I've devised a little bit of a categorization of summer movies a little bit, but you're right. It is mostly coming of age, has to do with the youth a ton of times, and I think or
it's adults going back to a childlike state almost.
yeah, but like here's the problem with adults in summer movies a lot of the time is that when you start working for the man,
It brings you down.
yeah, it summer just becomes like any other week. You know, we're not Europeans. We don't stop working during the June, July, August months. So then you're
Is that real?
Oh yeah, in like France they take a couple months off, man.
how does anything work?
They just get a lot less done, actually.
But like, what about like water?
Well, some people work. I'm just saying, like,
The water people.
imagine Tanner, imagine big content guy came to. That's actually a guy on Twitter. Let's say Mr. Content came to you and was like,
Me?
you know what? We're not going to put out any videos for the next 2 months. You know, you go hang out on a nude beach in Split. And just kind of vibe out there, smoke some darts, and we'll see you in September.
So just like the unimportant people don't have to work.
Well, we could talk about the class system at a later date. But
yeah. We don't need to make distinctions on essentials and non-essentials. But if you want to get political, certainly.
As long as the CEOs get to work.
CEOs have to work.
No, they
It's
don't.
Summer.
I kind of devised them in a couple categories, though. There are travel summer movies where it's a family or a group of people taking a trip during a summer. One of them I mentioned last week, Euro Trip being one of them.
National Lampoon's European Vacation.
Thank you. But yeah, there's like where they're going somewhere during the summer.
Not National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
No, not that one.
Get that the fuck out. But Vegas, certainly.
And I mentioned Call Me By Your Name earlier, summer vacation. They're in a new place. And then there's also the We're Home and Bored summer movies. We both saw the Snack Shack
Yes.
over the weekend, which you talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
And that kind of ties into Dazed and Confused, obviously. And that's like the summer malaise, boredom. We're home, no supervision. We are experiencing life with all of its warts and all because we are not in a structure of a school or something that would, kind of like push us one way or the other.
Yeah.
Let loose in a lot of ways. And then there's the camp movie.
Camp.
That would be Parent Trap for about half of it, I'd say.
Yeah.
And that would be Wet Hot American Summer. Meatballs. American Pie 2.
Yeah.
Stick the flute up your... Nope, never mind.
We can go to band camp if you want.
Yeah. But yeah, High School Musical 2. No, they're at a country club.
Yeah, but resort base.
Resort base is all good. And my personal favorite, Cheaper by the Dozen 2.
It's an excellent movie.
You're
I'm a fan. Rachel is a huge fan.
Have we talked about this before?
We haven't.
Okay.
And
it's a movie that brings my family to tears.
it's a movie that Rachel knows like beat by beat.
Yeah.
Of both movies, 1 and 2, and neither of them I had seen.
2 is far superior.
I agree, having watched Well, I haven't watched one since I was a kid, but last Memorial Day weekend, me and Rachel and friend of the pod, Grant Oliphant, and his wife.
What's up?
We're not going to discuss who
Good
that
to
was.
see you, Vic. We were at a cabin, and Rachel was like, "Man, this, you know what would absolutely make this weekend is if Grant's cabin somehow had a DVD copy of Cheaper by the Dozen 2."
They had it?
Lo and behold, buried in a cabinet in that cabin was a copy of CBD 2, and it's
CBTM.
yeah, CBTM.
Could be the
it
move.
sang, man. It was awesome.
Murtaugh!
I couldn't tell you a thing about the first one. Rachel filled me in on the gaps, but 2 was
No gaps.
It was awesome.
Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Eugene Levy. The dude who played Clark Kent in Smallville.
Obviously,
Hilary Duff. Piper Perabo.
Penis pie.
What?
penis pie. Did you say that? Have you no decency? No. It's summer.
It's summer, man. I love that movie. I was watching
great.
a little bit of it before we started. I was watching the when Piper Perabo gives birth on the lake.
Yeah.
During the final canoe scene.
Pretty epic stuff.
Yeah. Man, that movie cooks, man.
It's really good.
Do you want to? Because we kind of kicked this off with Snack Shack. That was kind of the thing that you were like, hey, maybe we should do summer movies.
Yeah.
And I saw it 2 nights ago. Really,
I saw
like.
it.
I think anyone should check out Snack Shack to kick off the summer.
Yeah, and I'd heard this before from everybody that had watched it, including producer Tanner. He doesn't know who he is right now. But that the movie, you know, most people I talked to were like really liked it, really big fans, and were also like that. Yeah, you've kind of seen this movie before.
Yeah,
it's tropey. It fits into, you know, exactly like what we're talking about. It is a classical summer movie, but in a way, like it coming out last year was also like kind of like, oh yeah, we don't get a lot of movies like this anymore. And there was something so nice about how like how quickly you fall into rhythm with it. You're like, I'm on the exact playing field that they want me to be. Like I'm on this movie's wavelength, but it's still unpredictable. There's still things happening there, and it's still like, you know, it makes its own, you know, it creates its own space for sure. But it's having fun. It's riffing on pretty regular stuff.
Yeah, regular stuff like 14-year-olds on steroids, like Gabriel LaBelle in that movie.
I didn't buy that. I will say when they
That guy's muscle definition.
when they age dropped 14, I was
Yeah.
like, man, I look different than that. I was very large in a different way. Some would call it fat.
I think what's interesting about Snack Shack, like how you say it's like, I just feel like it's a movie for everyone. Like some movies, like
or it's just a movie for people like us.
well, I think that a movie like Anatomy of a Fall, just to name one,
To name a classic summer flick, like I said.
has like this floor of like you gotta play by its rules.
Yes, it's a little more of like high or like elevated filmmaking.
Yes. Whereas Snack Shack, I think I loved it. Probably one of the best movies I've ever seen.
It's an approachable movie.
That's new for you.
It is just like the moment you turn it on, I think every single person in the entire world could watch that movie and vibe with it. Like
Yeah, I really liked
easy.
it. I was surprised how sad I was
Yeah.
at the end of it.
Yeah, it definitely takes a sad turn, which I
but-
know has irked people.
I think it. You think it irked people? I think.
And, there are people that it has irked. I saw some of that tell. I heard some of that tell, and I didn't mind it, honestly. I kind of think that's
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Snack Shack. Fast forward 30 seconds, 40 seconds. R.P. to our boy Shane right there.
Yeah.
Who's like, I'll see you guys later. He does like a fucking burnout, crushes a beer as he leaves. I'm like, I wonder what's going to happen to that guy.
Yeah, producer Tanner made the very salient point of he was begging to die. I mean, in the whole movie, he was like, kill me, kill me, kill me. This beer tastes delicious while I'm driving. so he wanted to go.
Caleb had a great point that a movie like that about kids almost needs that moment because you need that transfer into adulthood, basically. And that like does it great in that movie, I feel like.
Yeah, I think part of my disconnect when you said we should do this, and I was like, I take it back now, because a lot of the movies that we did list, like Dazed and even like Everybody Wants Some, which is sort of like it, and Wet Hot, like I do actually like a lot of summer movies.
Yeah.
But I think that type of coming of age movie in the summer is so distant from like my childhood experiences in the summer that I would almost feel like fuck these guys in them. But then I watch them and I'm like,
That's awesome.
it really won me over.
Yeah.
I don't identify with most of what happened in a movie, in that movie, and even those other ones. Like, there's worse versions of Snack Shack, the To-Do List 2013,
Sure.
which is fine.
Yeah.
What about Staten Island Summer, a movie written by Colin Jost?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a pull.
I have not seen it. I must say.
I've seen it.
Is that the Pete?
No, that's the King of Staten
That's
Island.
the King of Staten Island. There's also the Kings of Summer.
Which I've never seen. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a few, not to go on a tangent, but there was a moment in like the early 2010s before peak streaming TV.
Yeah.
Where a lot of the things that you'd see in TV now, like literally like The Summer I Turned Pretty or something, were just direct to VOD movies,
Yeah.
like the To-Do List and those types of movies.
Yeah.
And they were always like heavily promoted on like Time Warner cable video on demand. It's like the first thing you'd see there, and you'd be like, sure.
I guess.
They'd always be made by like 3 different production companies and be bought by Lionsgate.
Roadside Attractions was usually attached.
Yeah. And those are few and far between. That's what makes Snack Shack pretty surprising, like you said.
It's really gone out of style for movies in the last 10 years.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, I wonder if, because Snack Shack's set in 91, and I wonder if, like, there's a problem with, like, parental supervision and, like, what kids are doing now. Like, what would a kid's summer look like in that circumstance in 2024? You know?
Yeah,
Would
I mean,
they'd be able to purchase said Snack Shack?
Probably not. I mean, yeah,
Death of
that's.
third spaces in this country is.
Can we talk about that?
But yeah, I think that's kind of a problem. Even I checked out Dee Dee,
I have not seen it.
and you should check it out.
Yeah.
Really, really enjoyed it. It's another summer movie set in 2008, and
Yeah.
it's kind of that. Literally dealt with the precipice of we're hanging out in a parking lot with nothing to do, and then I go back home and I'm online. And
Yeah.
I feel sad because I'm online. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
I mean, it is interesting because, like, you know, I think of when I think of my summers, like from high school and growing up, like, I think I generally think of, the first time I watched, to me, the granddaddy of them all is Dazed and Confused. It's not really, I guess the granddaddy of them all really of this type of movie is American Graffiti. That's really like,
that's the days.
that's the big American one. But like,
But that's high school.
yeah, and that's high school, and that's, you know, that movie sets the kind of the stage for like the ensemble cast, people like, you know, whether it's American Graffiti, Dazed and Confused are both like one night movies, but, you know, setting that summer vibe that's a little bit aimless. It's got like some character arcs, but not so much plot. Like that whole type of movie, like Dazed and Confused, I really got into. Like the first time I watched it, I watched it like the first weekend of summer as a 7th grader. Like I had just finished 7th grade.
And what was your summer like that summer?
I'm almost certain that it was nothing like anything that happens in that movie. I know for sure I was invited to 0 high school parties.
That is so cool. My trunk is also full of beer. Full of beer.
Delicious beer.
But
yeah.
it was nothing like that.
I was playing video games inside.
Yeah.
I had buddies, but especially in middle school, you can't really go anywhere. You're still dependent on like
rides,
somebody's got to
yeah.
take me somewhere. But when I got to high school, like my overarching experience of high school summer was sports, was football. Like it was
All
every
summer?
day. Yeah, it was all summer long. You'd go, you'd work out, and then it'd be like after you're done working out, like in the morning, it's like, well, what do we do now? And it was like, you know, some people worked. You have, you know, either you worked like jobs that were like, you know, like 1 or 2 weeks, or you worked like a summer job, like stuff like that. And it was like, it was more aimless. It's more of like what I think of, but it's funny to think that I watched, like I first kind of came to love, you know, Dazed Confused, and also at the same time I came to love Grown Ups with Adam Sandler, which is the adult summer.
A camp movie.
Yeah, really a camp movie basically. Like those movies, like
a camp of their own making.
Exactly, of their own devices. And I came to find those movies when I was like 13. I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 4 in my bedroom all day long. I'm like, yeah, this is fucking summer, man.
But you didn't try to mirror it in any way?
I couldn't. It was like, I might go outside a little bit, but like my brother was older in high school. My brother wasn't taking me to anything. He was
really?
He was like, I'm doing my own thing.
What was your brother doing? Was this a little bit like a mid-90s relationship?
I've never seen it, actually.
You ever seen mid-90s?
No.
That's actually I think that's actually a summer movie now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it feels like it.
I got a mid-90s guy in my cast and my pitch, actually.
Wow.
And it's not Sonny Soljack.
Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I think, to give you a little peek into my summers a little bit.
Yeah. This is important.
This is important. I mean, not to get too therapy couch here, but before high school, I was a sleepaway camp kid. Yeah. So Wet Hot is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like,
I was not a camper ever.
and it was like a Jewish sleepaway camp too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So Wet Hot is exactly what that was, but Wet Hot is obviously a farce. So
Yeah.
there was no like murder or anything like that going on. Was there a murder in Wet Hot? I think, one kid dies.
Yeah, people change.
The kid drowns. And
Yeah.
Paul Rudd's not looking at him. Anyway,
tomato can that talks. Yeah, there's lots of
some stuff going on there. But I guess that's probably the closest version of that. But even in that, like, I don't know. I never had like the summer experience of being a kid and being like, man, like, I'm just hanging out in this suburban community and we're just going to hang out in weird places. I mean, I didn't have a crazy amount of like a social scene in my neighborhood until I was in high school. And even that, like I went to a prep school that was like not in my specific neighborhood. So it wasn't a lot of these summer movies where you're just like hanging out there and that person, even like Dazed, where you're like, oh, we're hanging out at this place and these people are there and then these people are there.
Yeah.
I think that for me started in college. And that's why like my fondest memories of summer are the 2 summers or so I spent in between years of college I spent out here.
Okay.
Yeah. But camp movies are interesting too. You know? They're like, there's something kind of like condensed and like almost like asylumed about them in a way.
Yeah.
Where you're like, it's like forced fun at a lot of times and you're kind of working with the margins in that. But it's interesting. I don't know. I don't really know where I'm going with this.
Well, my brother was a big camp kid and I wanted to go to camp, but I was also reliant on my parents for signing me up and they just didn't. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not a camp kid. And so I was it wasn't until I was in high school that it was like high school, I have a car now.
Yeah.
Like I was going.
I'm going to fill it with fucking beer, man.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to do that. I was going to fill it with Diet Pepsi. But I was driving around. We were in our, kind of like our place that we're a big, maybe not our place necessarily, but a place that was like from middle school to high school, a place you knew you could count to see people in the summer. Because for me, I also lived outside of the common zones of students from our school. Like, so especially until I had a car in the summer, it was like May happens. And you're like, all right, goodbye guys. I'll see you August 30th. Like I won't see any of you. Like that's
why I hated these fucking movies when I was growing up. I was like, this isn't me.
Like I'm not going to see any of these kids.
Yeah.
And once I got a car, that changed. But the one place that growing up that Dazed and Confused kind of nails this, you could count, and American Graffiti as well, you could count on seeing people at the Grassland Sonic. We had a Sonic, America's Drive-In, that there was always activity, always action. You could always count to see somebody from our high school or middle school there.
It's like Grease too.
Yeah. Parents would drop kids off at that Sonic and be like, all right, stay at Sonic and fill your time for 4 hours. And it was like, you could either go to a mall or you go to Sonic. And that's kind of beautiful. We don't have a lot of, there are literally no Sonics in LA.
No.
You can't get cheddar peppers in LA.
Wait, what do they call them?
Cheddar peppers. It's like cheddar, or it's like cheese jalapeno poppers is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But Sonic calls them ched, the letter R peppers.
Wow.
So I like to hit the R hard.
Well, that'll be in your summer movie.
Yeah, my movie's called Cheddar Peppers.
We're kind of jumping around here.
Yeah.
I think we probably should have gone by category.
Sure.
Parent Trap, the camp in that going in. I mean, that's a hard movie to relate to in a lot of ways. That doesn't happen to a lot of people.
It doesn't happen to a lot of people, but
Yeah.
it could happen and it could be beautiful. I mean, the summer camp vibe, that movie is just like, man, summer camp must be fucking awesome.
That camp was a really luxurious camp. You
Looks
could
like
tell
a
about
nice
everything going on. They had uniforms at that camp, which is pretty great. They got fencing there.
That's beautiful. I mean, both Hallie and Haley?
Hallie and we're gonna cut around this. We can't have people know that word.
Yeah. Hallie and
It's Annie.
Hallie and Annie,
Yeah.
both of their, when we see their family lives, like they've got money.
Yeah.
They send them to a nice camp.
Well, also like the isolation cabin,
Yeah.
that should be a thing. Here's the biggest, because I was simultaneously, I think I'd seen it before I got on summer camp. Here are the biggest discrepancies. You can't have like food in your bunk.
Sure.
And they seem to be able to keep a lot of food.
They got Oreos and peanut butter.
Yeah, like that. Like, I was like, whoa, that'd be pretty cool if we could have that there. The idea that people are marching anywhere is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But something I've not seen in any of these camp movies was the idea of a color war, which was a
color war?
huge event. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a race war. No.
This happened at your camp? I'm so sorry.
No, it's like a color where like there's like the blue team and like the white team.
Interesting.
And I don't see that in any of these. But that was like a huge thing. Like that was
Okay.
something that we thought about growing up. We're like,
Wow.
we got to win color war this year.
I've never color warred.
And then when you're like your last year, you're like a general. It's pretty. Or no, you're not a general. You're like a captain. And then there's like
Commanding officer for the color team, for the blue team.
Yeah, literally, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty. Dude, there was an event in color war called it was like a. I'm trying to remember this now. It was a relay race, right?
Okay.
There's a bunch of different elements of it that were not race. It was like you do different things.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like all around the entire grounds of the camp, and you get the baton pass and you have to do your thing. And like everyone on the team, so there's 1,000 people at the camp, so 500 versus 500, 500 people have to compete in this relay.
Yeah.
And you're doing different things, and like the art kids get to like draw something and you pass the baton or whatever. But then at the end, there was like certain legacy roles in the color war relay race.
Interesting.
Is this entertaining to anyone?
I'm liking color
Rachel
war.
said we should be doing more storytelling last weekend.
We're
Anyway.
orators.
Yes.
We're orators.
In the
great
color
orators.
war, there was some legacy positions there.
Wow.
One of them was like hatchet chop.
This is good.
You got to like go through a fucking hatchet.
Really?
Yeah, and there was one, I didn't do it. I was not him.
Obviously.
But it was like the torch run. And you start at the bottom of the camp, and it's like a hill up the entire thing. There's a main road. It's
nice.
like elevated hill up the entire thing.
Yeah.
They give you a kerosene dipped wooden torch,
Nice.
and they light it on fire.
Yeah.
And you have to run with it. I'll show you a photo of this after. You have to run with it. It's like a mile or something like that. Like dead sprint up this hill.
Can it go out? It probably.
It won't go out.
Yeah,
it'll set you on fire before it goes out.
Yeah,
and these
that makes
kids would like
sense.
run with this thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's
That's some true camp shit.
that's
dude.
deep camp shit. I
Yeah.
mean,
I haven't seen that in a movie.
we need more color war for sure. I mean, my brother, the camp that he went to, they're like, as you're older, I forget but there was like a the top billing of camp where it's like, once you're older,
Yeah.
and it's like a multi-day thing where you're like trying to become like the leader of camp.
Yeah.
And it's like you like agree to do it, and you're like, I'm trying to become. I think it was like you're trying to become a chieftain or something. And
Now it's a commander.
yeah, they've made it a little more.
It's a guardian now,
It's for
guys.
everyone now. But a big part of it was that for like basically like 24 hours, I think you couldn't talk. It was like, so while you're doing all of this, you can't speak, but they were trying to goad you into talking.
Yeah.
And so it was a battle of wits, a battle of determination. If you wanted to be a chieftain.
This is the thing about camps versus like the Snack Shack type movies, though.
Yeah.
Is that the structure of camp? I called them asyluming them before. Like it leads to a certain upbringing within the summers that are a lot more organized in a lot of ways. And you're like, I'm talking about this now with you, and you're talking about your brother's Silence,
Yeah.
War of Wits. Like,
Yeah.
and we're talking about it in this way that I'm just like, what the fuck did I think was so important when I was growing up? Like, this is crazy.
You're there.
But this is where like moments like your first kiss and stuff happen there,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like, it's weird to surround those moments not with like hanging out around my like home and stuff like that, and instead around these like truly absurd organized ideas
Yeah.
of forced summer fun in a camp. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a part of it where it's like, I mean,
I
like
don't know
with,
if this is a camp pod.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
with like, I think for me, like what I like in about, because I love the season of summer. I love it. It's my birthday's in summer.
That's my favorite season of summer.
Yeah, I don't care for my birthday, but I like summer a lot. And it's like,
I liked your birthday last year. That was pretty fun.
oh, the big
Yeah,
big
the party.
to-do?
Yeah. The 4-person party.
Yeah,
5-person party. Sorry, dude.
Sorry about that guy. But yeah, I mean, like I love the season of it, and for me, it's like when I watch like a movie like Dazed and Confused or like
Name another movie, coward.
Grown Ups too, or when I watch like
The Sandlot.
yeah, The Sandlot, hell, bring that in there. Any of these movies, like you can kind of feel like even like a Snack Shack, you can
Yeah.
like feel like. You can feel like some kind of link to it, even if you didn't live anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, where you're like, yeah. And it almost feels like as an adult, you're like, I could have a night like that. You can't, obviously. But that's the thing about a camp movie. You can't be like, man, I could have a night like that. You can't have a color war now.
Yeah.
Now you go to jail for having a color war.
Yeah.
And you should go to
You
jail.
can't face off against Eugene Levy and the Murtaugh in a canoe race around the lake.
You really can't. I mean, camp is really, it is childhood or you're a counselor. Like it's like you can only either be a kid or a college
You seen
student.
Theater Camp?
I have.
That's
yeah.
a good movie.
Yeah, it is a good movie.
One of the best endings of a movie, I think,
Yeah.
we have in the last 5-10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, just a real momentous ending of that movie. They really pull it together
They
theatrically.
do. Yeah.
Tatro's good in that one.
He's great.
Is Ayo Edebiri's in that one too?
Yeah,
she's really good in that.
both
Yeah,
her and
Molly Gordon.
Yeah, Molly Gordon's there. Both Io and Tatro are there
Io,
for
so-
like maybe probably 15 minutes each in total.
Sparsed out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's but they give such strong.
Yeah,
Strong
the
work.
theater director is really funny. I forget his name in that.
Is it Ben Platt?
No,
Or no,
he's good.
He's good too. Yeah.
Well, Owen Thiel, who's in Adults now, but I'm talking about Nathan Lee Graham,
Okay.
who plays the theater director, and he talks about people in the arts the entire time.
Okay.
Scaring them off like they're gonna like die of AIDS and stuff like that. Do you remember the scene?
I don't. No.
It's pretty funny. Anyway, yeah, so that's like you can kind of tie a bow in camp movies there.
Yeah, I mean, camp is a special time that you can't have once you're after you're 18 years old.
I'm looking through our list here. Grown Ups, Camp again. I dosed a little Call Me by Your Name in there. That gets to the boredom.
Yeah,
A lot
like
of lying around.
That's the malaise of
The
summer.
malaise of summer.
The heat of summer, and just like I got to fill my time. Should I fall in love with Armie Hammer? I've had it.
You think that movie works better or worse now that Armie Hammer is like a pariah of Hollywood? For me, it works better, to be honest.
To me, it works how I saw it the first time, where it was like I was like, this relationship is wrong already. Like it was like there's obviously like a real power imbalance here, and then now with that, it's like, oh yeah, it was kind of right on.
The movie is. I thought it was really boring the first time I saw it.
Okay.
When we did the Luke episode, I rewatched it and then still thought it was boring, but like sort of liked it a little more.
Yeah.
Since then, I've appreciated it more though. It's grown on me.
It's a beautiful looking movie. I think that's another big thing for summer movies is like just like the warm palettes of summer movies.
Yeah, they lend themselves to film more than digital though.
They definitely do. Yeah. It's like, I think you can feel that. I'm going to name it again. The difference between Dazed and Confused and Everybody Wants Some. I think you definitely feel the film.
Yeah. Well,
versus-
Days takes place at night though.
Yeah. Everybody Wants Some's got some night sequences though. They're going to the clubs.
You're right though.
But I think it's like, and a film just, it makes it feel, especially if like for those are two, because there's a lot, we haven't talked about the element of summer movies there's so many period piece summer movies too. Snack Shack Days and Everybody Wants Some are all throwbacks.
Well, because it's adults remembering their summers as children.
Yeah.
I mean, The Sandlot is like the ultimate.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm an adult, and kids, this is how I met your mother. No, but it's like these were my summers.
Stand By Me is a throwback.
Yeah.
You know, isn't well, that movie's gone. I had one in my head, and it's
who's in
disappeared.
it? What's going on with it?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember any part of it. But Red Oaks is that way too. Did you ever see that
show?
Yeah, it's a show.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
That's a really, really good show. That is this exact, you know, it's kind of that Caddyshack vibe of like, I need
We haven't mentioned Caddyshack.
Yeah, it's like I need a job for the summer. I'm working at a country club.
Okay.
And the shenanigans that you get up to there.
Question for you: did you have a summer job when you were in high school?
When I was in high school, I was always working. I was working like whoever got me a job. I didn't have a consistent week to week job. I was a camp counselor for day camps at our high school.
All right.
But then it was like, you know, a friend would be like, hey, my cousin's wife's girlfriend needs 3 18-year-olds that are willing to work for $3 an hour.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, that sounds awesome.
Then
That sounds
Ben
awesome,
Affleck
babe.
sometimes comes in.
Yeah.
He's like, we're going to hurt some people.
And you're like,
You're not going to know who they are, what they did.
You're like, Ben, what are you doing here?
And then you go, whose car we taking?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you were there. Yeah, it was really just like, you know, working whatever came my way, and then like those day camps.
We didn't mention Dirty Dancing. That's also a camp.
It's a big summer movie, yeah.
But they're a camp there too.
Because that's for me when I think of college summers, that's all work to me. That's when I was a valet parker.
Okay,
that's when I worked.
And you were home in Nashville?
No, that was were here. I did two summers here, and then I did like an internship in Nashville. Like I was always like I have a summer job.
I worked at a True Value hardware store.
Wow.
When I was 16.
A lumberman.
I was a lumberman.
Good for you.
I worked for some very angry Italian men who smoked on average 27 darts an hour.
That's a good number.
Shout out to Nick Sr., who would just like blast darts on the forklift. And he would like come around. Hey, man, he'd come around. Yeah. Like, take these mulch off the pallet. That was really good.
I felt
that was not fun.
Smelled like methanol.
Yeah, that summer consisted of me working at a True Value hardware and then coming home and then watching 24 on Netflix DVD with my dad all the time. So it was really beautiful memories there.
That's great
But yeah, did that. And then I had a summer out here. This was probably my favorite summer, living out here in a house with like 5 dudes. And we worked at this place called Event Operations on the LMU campus. Which is basically like we stacked chairs and did tables. Nice. But I only worked there for like a week. And then for some reason I had to quit. And they were like, well, this is like work study money from the government, so we're just going to pay you all of it. Oh, and they handed me a check for $2,000 for a week of work.
Epic.
That was a real thing that happened.
Well done for you.
And then I worked on Marriage Boot Camp Hip Hop Edition. I was a PA on that show.
Wow.
Which was crazy.
Summer, anything can happen.
And then as McConaughey likes to say, at any other time, we were just going. Just green lights. You seen that clip of McConaughey? It was just one of those summers, man. We were just going.
Just going, man.
They were all staying the same age.
And that was the main thing about summer.
Anyway, we haven't talked about Jaws, though.
Yeah, that's a big I mean, summer encapsulates so much, too, because you can throw in genre in there. You can
do genre in summer.
Yeah, you can. You're sending people to a cabin in the woods, and it feels, the Friday the 13th movies, they're going to summer camp. They're back to camp. They're killing kids.
Back to fucking camp.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, summer camp and horror movies obviously are a very old trope, and then Jaws is obviously, the beaches, the deep blue ocean.
Well, I like there's something interesting about Jaws that like we don't always see in the summer movie, which is like something I was reading in Rob Lowe's memoir recently, if anyone wants to pick that up.
Wow.
The dangers of malaise,
Yeah.
The dangers of boredom.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shane, our guy again from Snack Shack. Anyway,
this cone of big waves for you. I'm going to drink this while I drive.
Thank you. But that's also kind of an interesting element, I think, is the Jaws, like opening scene, hanging out, up to no good.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're eaten by a fucking shark.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have been swimming there.
Yeah.
It's your own fault.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, shout out to Jaws.
Yeah. I mean, it's
We don't need to talk about it.
It's an awesome movie. So good.
Can I ask you
yeah.
a question?
Of course, obviously.
Oh, wait, Sandlot's also like that. Didn't someone...
Yeah, that's in the end, like where they're like, and
this
Jimmy's
guy.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it like, and we've never seen Jimmy ever again.
Yeah. It'd be like the guy you like the most turned out to be too aware of how much fun he can have.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, Jimmy's gone? No, Jimmy seemed cool.
Weird question.
Yeah.
I got a movie. I got the Die Hard Christmas movie debate for summer movies for you right
Okay.
here. You ready? Before Sunrise, summer movie or not a summer movie?
You know, I was actually thinking about this because I feel it more in vibes than I do in, I don't even, does it even take place in summer?
It does. Yeah.
It does, okay.
Because they're in Europe and it's beautiful outside.
Yes.
It has to be summer.
It must be summer. It's summer all year round.
Yeah.
Because I know, Before Midnight is the same way. It's like, I think it's
That is a
in
summer movie.
Greece.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's. I mean, all three of those movies are very warm, like very like.
They're all kind of summer.
They all have that summer feel to them. There's like a different category, but they definitely like. It's in that same Linklater. Boyhood has the same thing. Like his movies lean very like warm and like they're so much more about like the setting and the presence.
Yeah.
Than they are like, it's no Jaws. It's not like, we're not on the tightest plot you've ever fucking seen. But it's like,
But the malaise of summer is what all these movies get right.
They're bopping around to different bars and just loving each other.
I think that the Before series, though, the reason that maybe they're not summer movies is like, could that movie take place in any other season? It probably could.
It probably could.
Yeah.
But
that's probably the difference. Like, it's not the last day of school. It's not the summer before this happened. It's not the summer before I turned pretty.
I mean, the summer before I turned pretty, I was so fucking ugly.
When was the summer before you turned pretty?
Yesterday, I think.
97?
Had to be
2013.
2013?
2013.
Yeah.
For me or you?
For me.
Imagine you're in a job interview and they're like, where are you from? What's that? It's like, when was the summer before you turned pretty?
And I came out with 2013.
Oh, you really rattled that off.
Yeah.
You're fucking hired.
Thank you.
You're the new middle school basketball coach. You're gonna be so good with these kids because they're so ugly.
I was Googling summer movies. You know what movie kept coming up, which is like definitely not a summer movie? 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah, it's purely named.
Just named Summer, yeah.
Somebody just named Summer.
I like it.
Yeah,
I really like it, actually.
It's hard to rewatch though now because it's so baked into 2009. I think
It's so baked into your emotional maturity whenever you saw it.
Yeah.
So you're like, I saw that when I was 14 and this felt like I was watching Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
And it's hard to go back to that feeling again.
yes.
Yeah.
I watched it on what I didn't know was a date basically. I mean, it wasn't a date, but it was like
You were with Armie Hammer.
I was with Armie Hammer and I was like, you're older than me.
Yeah.
You're gnawing on me too. Get off. Classic Armie. Yes?
To speak on 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah.
You just interrupted him though.
I know, but
Okay.
Yours is probably better.
Well, I just was thinking about that thing I said earlier about how Snack Shack is so approachable, but approachability like doesn't span time. And I feel like a movie like, let's just say Anatomy of a Fall has this like audience that really
What are you doing right now?
Am I not allowed?
No, I'm kidding.
You're allowed to
I'm
talk.
fucking with you.
Obviously. Keep going.
I just like the idea that like Anatomy of a Fall, let's say like 5% of people like it in the whole world. Those 5% will like that movie forever.
I'm one of those.
With a movie like 500 Days of Summer, let's say 100% of people like it in 2009. That does not last. That does not age well. Like that 100% of people diminishes quickly.
So you're arguing that movies should stay blue collar is what you're saying for the common man.
Yes.
Okay. Can I introduce the final category?
Yes.
Summer movies.
Of course.
And this is one I did not think about until I went into a little hole today of looking a lot of these up and remembering I've seen all of them.
Okay, great.
Because there's a lot of kids in summer movies because they're, just like around summer and kids.
Yeah.
The idea of Disney Channel, shout out to Disney Channel. We all grew up watching Disney Channel. They made a ton of summer movies. And I think it warrants its own genre.
Interesting.
I mentioned High School Musical 2. They're all at the country club. Do
Yeah.
you guys remember the baseball scene in that?
Of course.
With Ryan in the all white fit with the Kangol, the zebra Kangol.
He throws a knuckleball like I've never seen.
And then Corbin Blue or whatever his name is.
That's what I thought Corbin Blue was for a long time.
Yeah, he like straight up, Ryan throws a pitch inside and he like does like a ballet plie to jump off the plate.
Yeah.
It's all time. I watched it before we got in here today.
He should have taken that pitch and gotten to first.
That's a really good one. And I got the Lizzie McGuire movie where she goes to Rome.
Oh, sure.
She starts hooking up with Paolo, the music singer.
Yeah, of course.
That's got the hey now.
The music singer.
Yeah.
The music singer?
With one of those new music singers.
One of those music singers. I also am a media student. Cheetah Girls 2. They're in Barcelona.
See, that one went over my head.
Over your head.
I just
The one thing I remember
wasn't
from
a
Cheetah Girls
girl.
2 is they at some point consider starting to sing a song, and then this like beautiful Spanish man comes down like playing a Spanish guitar, and he's just
awesome.
like I fucking them. He's like hello,
Yeah.
You know, and then that guy
The
ends up
Cheetah Girls.
like scoring their entire dance number that goes on in the city street.
That's awesome. It's never happened to me.
Yeah, never happened to me. But yeah, that's kind of its own kind of cottage industry right there.
Disney had a run on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Good for Disney.
that was
Good company.
Thank you.
That's my Disney corner.
Minky Mouse.
Oh,
Minky.
Mickey.
Look at me, Minky Mouse.
You know that the intellectual property on Mickey Mouse is up now.
You could have used Mickey, but just Minky. Why is that?
The mascot of Six Flags.
Mickey Mouse. Give me a coat of Big Wave.
And then before we pitch, baseball movies are their own genre too.
That is true.
They really are.
You are a big fan of Bull Durham.
I'm a big Bull Durham. I'm going to declare right now my favorite. Actually, I'm not going to do. It's my favorite baseball movie.
Okay.
Is it my favorite summer movie? No.
Okay.
But it's one of my favorite summer movies. It is such a summer movie. You're right. The sun looks incredible on film in that movie. The Jeff Fogerty "Put Me In, Coach" on the soundtrack. Put me in, Coach. I'm ready to play.
I wasn't in a place to accept Bull. I don't know what it was about the movie. It just didn't work for me at all.
That's horrific.
I know, and I've met no one else that feels this way. I didn't like it at all. I'm sorry. I loved Tim Robbins.
Yeah, he's good in
He's
that.
incredible in it.
You didn't like Costner in that?
Yeah, he's good. I always
Spit it out, buddy.
This is sorry.
I always like Kevin Costner. I'll say.
Now you're opening up a can of worms.
I rarely like love Kevin.
I always love him.
I thought you'd say that.
Yeah.
He's just. I don't know. I guess in that movie I prefer Tim.
Thank you.
Well, Susan Sarandon does. Susan Sarandon does not.
No. She doesn't.
She's a blade in that movie.
It's not in her being.
That movie to me is like my version. I mean, another job I worked in summers. I worked at a minor league baseball stadium. Too.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Beer Hawks. I made kettle corn for the entire stadium. Ooh. Yeah. Are you good?
Okay, cards on the table. I'm super high. This is the second triple.
You'd be. Oh my god.
Your second triple?
Yeah. So we're calling it whatever the.
Oh yeah,
sixth
Bull
version
Durham
of triple.
baseball. I think that like the just the essence and the vibe of that movie to me is like there's super, and this is a great thing about summer movies. There is super important things happening to a person. Mm-hmm. It's the end of Crash Davis's career.
Yeah.
You know, Susan Sarandon is like, she needs to bring up Tim Robinson as a baseball player. And
Tim Robbins.
Tim
Robinson would be excellent though in that movie.
Tim Robbins is a baseball player. And it's like all these like, in this like the religiosity of baseball and all of it.
Yeah.
But all of it is going on similarly to a lot of other summer movies, the crises, the drama. It's going on in like the least important thing of all time, which is like this tiny town and these 10 people in this tiny town.
Yeah.
And nothing else matters outside of it, you know?
Yeah.
They never have, like, that's the beautiful thing about summer movies because it's like so alienated from the rest of the year and everyone's separate lives that they have outside of this. Is it's like this is just going on in this little capsule of time in the 90-degree heat of the North Carolina summer.
I mean, that is objectively beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a movie I should really like on paper.
Before we go, speaking of favorites of our dads, this is not a favorite of my dad, but Summer of 42. Ever heard of that movie?
Summer of 42.
I had to write a paper about this movie in college.
It's about like George Washington and stuff.
It's about like, it's
my
straight
God.
up about, I mean, it's from the 70s. It's
Sure.
about like this woman who's, it's during World War II.
Okay.
This woman whose husband died in World War II, like young woman, basically bones a 16-year-old who's just hanging out that summer.
Yikes.
So was the 42 in reference to the year or that she was 42?
This is the summer of 42.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was actually 36. He was 16. A lot of numbers.
He was still 16.
World War II.
Yeah, and it's just like a World War II at home summer drama.
Interesting.
Romantic drama. They have a kind of a relationship. And I told my dad, maybe we have to cut this out, but I told my dad, I was like, yeah, I got to watch Summer 42 for school. And he's like, oh, good movie. He's like, I had myself a Summer of 42. I go, never tell me that again.
How old is your dad?
He's 16.
And that's a weird story that I think
Should make it on the podcast.
That should make it to air. Yeah.
And I was like, all right, we're going to change the conversation now.
Sometimes parents will, I guess specifically fathers, will drop sentences where you're like, I don't ever want to hear about that.
Well, that's like a pretty famous meme, learning dad lore. Like you figure out that your dad isn't just this one-dimensional teacher of things. He's just like,
Yeah.
one time
It's kind of a hype story for him, I guess.
mine are crazy too. Well, that'll keep him.
they're the
Good.
like, I feel like dads have the ability to drop a sentence of like, that leads to a story where you're like, you should never say that.
Dude,
That, I can't believe you just said that.
I've got so many, by the way.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Everyone has
that
to.
one specifically reminded me,
dads.
and that not now. Every time I think of like whatever my dad did during the summers between 1951 and 1975, I'm like, it was something weird like that. But actually, that's good for him, you know.
Yeah.
I guess.
I-
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
I don't know how old he was. I don't know how old she was, but
it's not polite to assume in any direction.
I assume he was a baby at one
he's
point.
like, I had my own summer of 42. I threw my phone across the field.
That's a pretty tame.
It was a
bring that
meadow.
back.
It was a soft meadow.
All right, give me that phone back. I actually need that.
I threw my phone across the bouncy castle.
All right, thanks.
Anyway,
The summer of 42.
this episode is off the fucking rails. All right.
I mean, I think what we've as we head into pitches here, I think
Yeah.
what we've landed on with as we go into pitching our own summer movies,
As we will.
as we will. Summer movies, to me, it's more about the experience of watching those movies, what they remind you of,
Yeah.
than because like the movies on their face, a lot of times they can be really simple. They can really, it's like, here's a night. Here's camp.
You're back to Dazed.
Here's a night in
We
1976.
could have just done the Dazed pod if you wanted.
We could have. Here, 1976, Lee High School. Randall Pink Floyd's there. Donnie's
No,
there.
but you're right. It's like, oh, that's off. That guy's house party is off.
Here's a week at camp. Here's like, you know, the party's canceled.
What are we going to do?
Yeah. It's just like things that, like you said earlier, are in the grand scheme of life, very inconsequential, but for these characters, or it's like, you know, it's like a guy, it's like, yeah, I'm the new chief of police on this like tourist summer town.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I'm just going to
Nothing ever happens
Yeah.
here. I kind of wish I was back in the city. And they're like, by the way, a 3-year-old girl was just eaten by a shark like an hour ago. Just throwing it out there. No need to solve that. And like, it's just like how the feeling of summer like permeates these movies in such a way that like summer is ultimately ends up being like the most important character of these movies.
Yeah.
We talked about this distinction of like, there are movies that take place in summer, and then there are movies that like utilize the setting of summer as like an integral part of it.
The insulation of summer.
The insulation of summer.
Wow.
And I think that's
pretty good.
and that is
Put that in a textbook.
to me. That's what we spent our time talking about here.
Yeah.
is the character of summer, what it means to us.
Yeah.
When was our summer of 42?
2013.
Was your summer of 42 the summer that you turned pretty?
Yeah.
No.
Was it also your Staten Island summer?
Was it?
Yeah.
And it was
All
wet
right.
hot,
Was it wet hot?
It was American, baby.
and there were 500 days of it.
Yeah, it was insane.
It was so fucking.
Anyway, Mamma Mia, here we go again.
Let's pitch a goddamn summer movie.
Yeah.
All right.
To Mr. Summer himself.
Oh wait, shout out one more, A Bigger Splash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Summer.
that's definitely a
hot,
summer movie. Yeah,
Juicy. Dakota Johnson. Enough.
Ray Fiennes' dick.
Ray Fiennes full penis.
Hey there. By the way,
Whoa, I didn't know you were going to be in the elevator.
Tanner,
with us.
I believe, and people can check the archives, that when we did the Luke episode over a year ago, and we were talking about A Bigger Splash, you did before then also play Ray Fiennes' penis.
Hey, we love a returning character, huh?
So now turn to page 8 of your elevator pitch character index.
textbook.
Why is there 18 pages on Ray Fiennes' penis?
He's got lore.
All right, go on, do your whole thing.
Picture this, you're at work. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, who friggin' knows? And then ding, an email comes into the inbox. It's the Pioneer newsletter. You read through it. You say, God damn, if that wasn't a cold cocktail for my inbox. Sign up today at thepioneer.online. That's thepioneer.online. All right, back to the show.
All right. So for people who haven't seen the episodes before, I'm going to ask a question to see who pitches first. And the question today is, how many summers have there been?
Is this a post-Christ timeline?
Yeah.
or-
This
What are
is
you doing here?
this is I guess
How many summers have there been since the Romans killed Christ?
how many summers have there been since human beings were considered homogeneous?
Is this like, does this factor into like high school athletics dead period? Like, is this post like a dead period timeline?
No, we're not including COVID if that's
Okay,
what
great.
that means.
It doesn't, but all right. Okay, let me just throw out, like, I don't know, like 130,000?
It's more.
or like, is it like,
Okay, nope, you're locked in. All right, Matt.
Oh man, I mean, I gotta go. What's the Jewish New Year? It's like
Hanukkah.
No, well, because it's like it's before AD and BC.
Christians only believe that there's been like 3,000 years.
Yeah.
Like total.
Christians only believe
Just
that
want to
there's
throw
been,
that out there.
believers of Christ only believe that there's been 500 days of summer.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah, and one day of fall, and she used to date Derek Jeter. That is a Minka Kelly joke. Anyway,
No, I got it.
cool. I'm gonna go 500,000.
500,000 summers. Wow. I actually think that Matt is closer. The number is 300,000.
Yeah,
There's
it's
been
like-
300,000 summers since homogeneous has walked the earth. The homogeneous.
Sure.
What do you think they did like that first summer?
Probably went to the beach and fucking partied and drank some fucking Bud Light, dude.
You think that they tried to get around with Randall Pink Floyd and
Probably, yeah. Probably kicking back.
Yeah, apparently one of the house parties got canceled, so they all just kind of drank.
Yeah.
That's what I think is funny about
to sign this paper.
that movie is funny because it's like, oh no, the house party got canceled. What are we gonna do? It's like, oh, just drink somewhere else.
We'll just find another place to drink.
That is the plot of most of
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
movies where it's
Man, Pickford, bummer about your party, man. Not to worry. There's another party in the works.
All right, and then the pitch stitch is going to be, it doesn't have to be day the whole time, but the sun has to be out the whole time.
that's you gotta give us another one.
The
Because like obviously the sun's gonna be out.
there you go. That's what I mean. Is like this. It has to be like a good. That's why I'm saying it doesn't have to be day the whole time, but it can't rain. It has to be nice out.
Oh, okay.
It's always cool when rain comes into summer movies. You know what we mentioned last week? That's definitely a summer movie. Holes.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Remember the rain and holes?
Those onions. Is that what they're looking for? What the hell?
Yeah,
are
they're looking
for onions. Isn't that what they find?
They're going up to the thumb.
And don't they
they're
find
trying to
like
find the
sweet
treasure
onions?
chest.
0.
Isn't that what they eat?
0 from
Yeah,
holes.
because that's all that's there.
Yeah.
And he's like, Zero's like, what is the in front of the pod? Zero is like,
Yeah.
It's like, what is this? And Shia LaBeouf's like, it's a hot fudge sundae.
Yeah, it's like
all right.
fucking delicious as a kid.
Anyway, so it has to be sun in the summer.
It
Movie?
has to be nice. Has to be
All
nice
right.
weather the whole time.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're gonna like the way this looks.
I thought you were going to challenge us this week, Tanner. You know.
Nah, I'm out of it.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't. I got so busy.
All right, well,
All right.
Matt.
Well, you've been
here.
here the entire time. Have you? No. You left?
I write.
I can't even remember. All right.
So Matt, you're gonna go first.
All right.
I think is what we landed on.
Cool. Is this a long podcast?
Oh yeah, dude. It's been 3 hours.
People are nodding. All right.
Okay, ready?
Let's get out of here after these.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Go.
All right. Summer movies, man. Ain't no thing to worry about. Oh, another party's already in the works.
Bingo.
My movie that's going to take place in the summertime is called Beer Ball.
Woo!
And this is based on a true story. And that true story is mine.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy.
Some of you turned pretty.
Yeah, this is summer. I turned pretty. No. Basically, the summer that I described, I was working on marriage boot camp, and I got handed a check from the government for $2,000 for doing a week of work, was the summer between my sophomore and junior years of college. I was living in a house called Grandma's off the back gates of Loyola Marymount University.
Yeah.
It was decrepit. There was no air conditioning in there. We had a great time going to the few bars that we'd get our fake IDs in on Main Street, right down the road, Circle Bar, RIP. That place was a mess. But it's just one of those summers, man. You know what I mean? It was like freedom, and every day was a party. There was
Rock and roll.
No worries in the world. A lot of rock and roll. But
yeah.
one thing that happened this summer is there was a World Series of beer baseball. And that sounds idiotic, but I'll show you videos later.
Okay,
It was really organized.
I believe it.
Here's a log line. A week before their junior year of college, 6 guys face off in a 7-game World Series of beer baseball in their unconditioned off-campus frat house.
Unbelievable.
So after the conscious uncoupling of Stain and Alice, Stain decides to deal with the breakup in all the wrong ways. Copiously drinking with his housemates in need of an escape from their banking internships and odd jobs. One's a PA on Marriage Boot Camp Hip Hop Edition.
Yeah,
His name could be Matt.
I don't know.
Pierre is setting up tables and chairs on campus for odd events. And Benjamin, a summer intern at the Blackstone Group, amongst others, all right?
Sure.
And the entire structure of this movie is the week before, like I said, and each night is a game of beer baseball. It's a 7-game series.
Wow.
So this is how like we're interstitialing the partying and the hangouts and the sneaking into pools and all that kind of bullshit that's going on.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of like a movie where, like we talked about with summer movies, the breakup of Stain and Alice is not that big of a deal, you know?
Yeah, man.
But it's like dealing with deep anxiety within the kind of the container of like good vibes, you know? Cool. And how does that kind of compound on itself, you know?
Fuck yeah.
Who's taking it seriously and who's not? And I think those tensions kind of come out in the games of baseball. And like such as Everybody Wants Some, which is also the week before college, not a lot is solved, you know?
Okay.
In fact, that's kind of the only plot line we're working with.
Okay.
The cast of this movie is, you got to throw Gabriel LaBelle in here, guys.
He's a home run hitter.
I'll tell you who's starring in it, though, who's playing Stain.
Okay.
I got Harry Loudy from Industry
Cool.
with an American accent.
What?
Yeah, Kiernan Shipka, she's Alice.
Obviously, Kiernan Shipka's in this.
I got the umpire. I'll save him for later.
Okay.
I got Ty Sheridan in here, too.
Cool.
Love Ty Sheridan.
Yeah.
Nico Haraga, friend of the pod. I met him a couple times, but he was in mid-90s.
Okay.
And he just starred in a rom-com with Kieran Shipka, I believe. But he's like a young.
Oh, I know.
He's a
I know
professional
what
skater.
Yes, sure. Sure.
We got Cooper Hoffman as the umpire.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Hoffman.
We got JD. That's his name. He's the guy from Outer Banks. Do you know that guy I'm talking about?
No.
Look him up.
Okay.
And
Sounds awesome.
who should direct this movie? Probably me.
Are you serious?
But
Okay.
if not, what about your guy's friend, Tyler Falbo?
Shut up.
I think he could work with that one, right?
Yeah, I guess I
Falbo?
could do it.
Right?
I love it.
That's his call to come on the pod, is me telling him to direct it.
Call to action.
Or, I don't know, Richard Linklater,
If he's available.
whatever.
I'll come on.
Oh,
Are you?
it's Richard Linklater? Okay, cool. But yeah, it's it. I think beer baseball is pretty cinematic. Do you know the rules of it?
No, I don't. Please.
It's like beer pong, but it's set up around a table.
Oh,
And
I do.
Like, and,
Continue.
yeah, and you throw the balls, and like there's like strikeouts and stuff like that.
Yes.
And if you get it in a certain cup, then it's a hit, and then you move to your other base. And
Yes.
then to move bases in advance, stealing is like the drinking.
Yes.
There's a lot of different direction and spacing in it that makes it, I think, pretty cinematic in a fun way.
Yeah.
And I didn't play in the World Series of Baseball, like just to mention.
Okay.
I was filming it actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're making content.
We had a press conference. We had everything.
Unbelievable. Did it go to 7 games?
It did.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 questions.
Yeah.
How's the weather?
It's so beautiful, dude.
Perfect. And
I'll tell you a story about the weather.
this one's on you. Who's playing Matt? You said
Ooh,
Matt's in the
I'm
movie.
going Ty Sheridan. That's
Ty
who's playing
Sheridan?
me. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm with it.
Can I say Ty Sheridan can play me?
We'll let it slide. We're recording, so it's
Sure.
Just let it roll.
Gabriel, I don't think LaBelle and I channeled the right energy
Come
together.
on. What? Stop.
But I'll tell you a story about the sun tanner. In the house next to ours was rented out by the girls' soccer team who we knew, and their landlord hated us. Like they hated us. And they were like big drinkers, and they'd scream at us on the phone when they were drunk. Like keep the fucking, like all that stuff. And one day we were outside, beautiful sunny day. The sun was out, all right?
I like
And the die, we were playing like die, a beer die.
Mm-hmm.
The die this is the douchiest story ever. This
where it's
entire
at.
10 minutes is the douchiest thing ever. The die went over the fence next to their pool. We're like, we can hop over and get it.
Yeah, of course.
Hopped over the fence, got the die, came back. And then we had the idea, if you get skunked, you got to jump in the pool.
Wow.
An hour later, someone jumped in the pool. All of a sudden, we're breaking and entering. We're jumping in the pool, right? And we're like, oh, the girls who live there, they love us. They're fine. They weren't home though. They were like, cool.
Yeah.
We'd been in the pool, when they were there. 2 days later, we get a voicemail from the owner, screaming, and she caught us in the pool with the tenants, but she had no idea that we broke in and used the pool later. A classic anecdote for this movie, beer ball.
That's good. That's
good.
the type of stuff that's
That's the
gonna
type of
make it
stuff
in.
this needs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
Wow.
Truly the summer I turned pretty,
I mean, yeah,
as you could tell.
obviously. That's awesome.
It felt like there was 500 fucking days of it.
I mean, I like Beer Ball a lot.
I think Beer Ball is a good movie.
I thought real baseball was being played,
No.
but then I remembered the drinking game.
This is like combining my favorite elements. Oh yeah, I never said what beer baseball was in the beginning of that.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry.
that's all right. It worked both ways.
It combines my favorite elements. It's like I love baseball movies in the summer. I think beer is cool.
Yeah.
You're in it.
I'm in it. Ty Sheridan's fucking playing me.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Hot.
He's hot.
He's
The weather's hot.
The weather's hot.
Oh.
All right. JD is in it.
JD. Woo.
is
JD. Wet wall, baby. Will,
yeah.
how you feeling?
Ready?
It's just dude.
Go.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right. My movie for summer, our new summer classic, is called The Ending is the Start.
Ooh.
Directed by Cooper Rife of Shithouse.
One of us was going to get Cooper Rife to direct our movies.
Slam dunk. Cha-Cha Real Smooth. Unreleased Helen Harper. Okay. Our log line for this movie. After getting his heart broken for the first time right after high school graduation, Carl Tillman decides to drop his good guy reputation around the summer around the summer before his freshman year of college and learn what it means to go truly off the rails. Okay. So our movie starts with graduation caps launching into the air.
They explode.
These are ICBMs.
Like the bank?
Intercontinental ballistic missiles. Summer is here, okay? And this is the last summer for J.J. Pierce's class of 2025 young adults' lives.
Go
Right?
Cougars.
Huskies forever.
J.J. Pierce, Mustangs, go Stangs.
Hey, Texas forever.
Carl and his girlfriend since sophomore year, Lindsay, are headed to different colleges soon, but they'll make it work, right? Until she drops a bomb on him. A lot of bombs going on so far in my pitch. Until she drops a bomb on him that at a graduation party that night, breaking up with him ice cold in his car, citing that she wants the summer to figure herself out before she goes off to college, before she goes off to state, obviously. And he's going to tech. So that's a whole thing.
Go Cougars.
Bingo. Carl is fucking rocked, leveled to his core. He doesn't understand this at all. He didn't even see it coming, okay? He just figured they'd work it out. But after he tells his older brother, who's home from school for the summer, he's like, dude, I just got broken up with and I'm devastated. I'm so fucking sad. And his brother's like, dude, this rocks. You're so lucky. Because I took my girlfriend into the first little bit of college. She dumped me anyway. So your girlfriend did you a favor. You're done. Go crazy. You're too good of a kid. They're going to eat you alive in college when you go to tech. And Carl's best friend, Henry, he doesn't agree with what Carl's brother is telling him, but they're best friends. So he's like, look, if the way that you need to get over this relationship is to go absolutely fucking buck wild, if that's the only way you can get over it, I'm your right-hand man. So they basically take the summer to kind of check off all the things they didn't do in high school because they were good kids, upstanding young gentlemen. They're headed to tech for their engineering degrees, and they've got young girlfriends named Lindsay. Well, one of them did, the other one didn't. So they want to drink. They want to get fucking plastered. They want to do some coke. they want to have sex with strangers. they want to get in trouble with the law. They want to go fucking nuts. It'll be a summer of debauchery, and everything's gonna be awesome, and they're gonna be super proud of themselves for doing this.
Hell yeah.
Right? No.
Oh.
Because by the end of the summer, obviously, Carl and Henry's relationship is in the fucking dumpster. Because
Too much fucking coke.
Too much fucking blow and hookers. And Henry,
This is what summer went insane.
the summer I turned insane. Because
Summer I went to rehab.
the summer I fucking drank myself to sleep every fucking night.
Karen!
The summer I bought a fucking gun.
Go. You're running out of time.
Does it really matter?
The summer I ended it all. Go Cougars, am I right?
Yeah, so obviously by the end of summer before they go off to college, they got to rekindle their friendship. Henry's too good of a kid. He's like, I can't go with you down this road. You want to shoot your ex-girlfriend? I can't do this with you. And he's like, come on, let's just go fucking shoot her. It's such a pretty day outside. The sun is great. It's perfect to shoot my ex-girlfriend. Here, give me that dirty needle.
Come on, man.
So,
Anyway, this movie's directed by Cooper Rive.
All right. Well,
this movie's directed by Claire Denis.
Matt, I'm sorry, but I got to give it to Will. That was fucking hilarious.
Near immediate. Which way were you leaning before that happened, though?
I think
Yeah, reel it back in.
it's like choosing between Dazed and Confused or Snack Shack. Like, are we going a vibes plot or are we going a plot?
I think they're both vibes plots. To be honest with you,
Yeah, I guess.
Will's a little more plotted than mine.
It has to be because it's
Would you
it's
have
over
liked
more time.
Would you have liked if I plotted that out more? Because I feel like that would have taken away
No,
from
no,
the
no,
pitch.
no.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I listen. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. The choices that I make in this seat mean nothing. It's all based on fake information that I make up in my head. None of this has anything to do with the quality of the products that you pitch. It all has to do with what I think will be the best answer. So
That was well said, Mr. Summer.
it's me, Minky Mouse.
Get Minky out of here. Guys, I'm fucking blow. It's summer, baby.
It was just you bringing up that part of this crazy summer is that they got like hookers, and it was like, what?
It's like, man, I've been with my girlfriend all of high school. I should really find who I am this summer. Give me the fucking needle.
Man, we never did what all the cool kids were doing.
Yeah.
Getting the gang wars.
Yeah. Hey, throw a knife at this wall. I'm going to stand in front of it. Yeah. Yeah. They're doing knife dances with their hands.
You ever feel like we were missing out?
Yeah. You ever feel like we didn't huff enough glue junior year?
Here, take that paintball gun and shoot me in the fucking dick. All right, that's
All right, yeah. Let's go to Toys R Us. I'm going to pee in this.
I'm gonna pee in a Barbie. Why?
Because I broke up with my girlfriend.
Summer is horrible.
Anyway.
I'm gonna go back to being a Christian fundamentalist.
Why can't it be fall again? Take me back to spring.
What was the name of this movie again?
The end is this.
Wait, what is it called?
Okay, may I pitch?
The ending is the start.
That's not a good title. I'm gonna let it loose right now.
I want to pitch to you that when you pitch this movie, you go full Bizarro cut like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now your movie
When you pitch this movie, like
Yeah.
to who?
to
Like
Green Day, Packers.
David Ellison?
To the Green Day Packers.
I don't fucking know.
Green Day Packers?
Yeah, we're making movies now. We make baseball. We make movies.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What?
but I think you
Let
should.
him have it.
I think you should
You're having a stroke right there.
do the crazy one. I like the crazy one.
I like it.
I like it too. Anyway, I can't wait for fall movies.
Yeah, that's gonna be sweet.
Oh, like what's that one movie that
I've got When Harry Met Sally is probably the
what's the fall movie?
ultimate fall movie.
Oh,
Yeah, totally.
Anatomy of a Fall.
Oh, that's a good fall one.
That's a fall movie in the same way as 500 Days of Summer is a summer movie.
yeah. Can I talk to you in the hallway?
Yeah, sure.
All right, great. Well, this has been Elevator Pitch.
Yeah. Your first sign off.
Yeah, happy summer, everyone.
Yeah.
Summer is upon us. Go grab a needle and hit up this summer. Woohoo! Kill a hooker. And you know what? Tip from old Will, go find a hooker
And just beat the shit out of her. Al Pacino will find you.
All right.
What would Wangro do?
Waingro wouldn't listen to this podcast. I'll tell you that. You're rolling. I'm going to do a you impression for like 3 minutes.
Death to America. Yeah, yours is probably a better.
It's me. See?
No, I heard it. I didn't see it. You want me to do my Will Peters impression?
Okay.
I'm getting married, and I'm kind of scared about how it's going to change what my life is now. It's not bad. It's not a bad scared. Some people are bad scared about getting married. Some people are a type of scared that you don't even want to know. But me, I'm just scared that this is the end of my youth. This is me This is me officially putting a stamp on the fact that I am an adult now. It's kind of always, for the past 6 years, been I'm an adult, but it's real now. It's like I am my parents, and I want to change the way that they were so that I am a better father to my kids, and that scares me. That's my impression of you.
This is my impression of Tanner hearing that.
Dude, yours is a layup.